Say it ain't so, Ohtani. What's going on in the Shohei land? The scandal that is or isn't, we don't know. Opening day is so close. We're excited. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. And Joey Loperfido, does he deserve a spot on this team, or will he be better served in Sugarland? Eric, hit that intro music.
Buenos días. This is Locked On Astros.
And welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we update you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on X at Eric Talk Stros. Find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go and subscribe to us. Go ahead and make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Go and check us out, become an everydayer, and go and subscribe to us as well. So, Brett, while you're not wagering on baseball, where can they find you at?
Well, it's not as consequential if I wager on baseball than someone like Shohei Ohtani does. But hey, you can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and TikTok. You can find me at Stros411 on X, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive, always Stros. Look, we got Colleen, we got Mom in here, we got the Storm Bum, we got KB and Shalonda. Everybody, thank y'all for tuning in. Kirsten is tuning in as well, and some other people. Hopefully Casey's out there watching us. Look, man, this is exciting times in Houston Astros world. Why? Because we're closer to opening day. And it's exciting because baseball got started in Seoul, Korea for the first time. A regular season baseball game was played in Korea. We'll talk about that. But the headline of the day is not Astros-centric. It is Dodgers-centric. It is Shohei Ohtani. And is this an oh no Ohtani moment, or is this really what they're claiming it is? Something that somebody else did that Ohtani was helping to pay a debt for. And then our guy Joey Loperfido, will he go to AAA? I personally think, well, I'll tell you later. But Eric, let's get going about opening day first, and then we'll get to the big news of the day. Opening day in Korea. I don't know if you saw this, but like Mookie Betts has his own song. These players, they have their own song and their own chant, and a dude with a microphone leads the chant while the game is going on. I mean, you want to talk about, it's almost like banana ball. I mean, right. Maybe the shooting stars for the Astros need to do this.
Yeah, it's definitely a different environment, and you can tell that I know Yu Darvish, he didn't have his best game. He threw 72 pitches, only lasted 3 2/3 innings. He only gave up one unearned run in this game. He had 3 walks. So he didn't really pitch bad, but he left technically, I believe it was tied at the time, but Tyler Glasnow, he had a great spring. He was striking out people left and right. And he had an inning where I believe he had like 3 walks in an inning or 2 walks in an inning. He ended up with 4 walks in that game. He gave up 2 runs. 2 of them were earned. And luckily for him and the Dodgers came through late in the game. They scored 4 runs in the 8th inning to take the win in that game. And Daniel Hudson got the win, and Evan Phillips got the save, and the rest of it is history. But Shohei Ohtani got 2 hits. So he got his first hit in the Dodgers uniform, his first RBI, his first stolen base, and his first controversy, all on the same day.
Look, this is crazy. I mean, like you said, the 2 hits. So, I mean, their top 2 hitters, Betts and Ohtani, did what they were supposed to do. They got 4 hits and 9 at bats. I mean, that's what you want. 7 hits total, but they amassed half of their offense. Freddie Freeman surprisingly went over 2, but he did have 2 walks. And so the Dodgers did what you expect them to do. They got on base. They plated people when they needed to, and they only needed 5 runs to do it. Phillips got the save. And look, it was a fun game. I didn't get to watch the game itself. But you like seeing that baseball is back. The thing with Glasnow though, like I wouldn't worry too much about him. This is his first start in a while. He said he was feeling good in spring. It's probably a different vibe. You're going to a different country,
Mhm.
you're traveling, you're on a different schedule. So I'm not surprised if you have major league players go over there and do stuff that they maybe wouldn't normally do. What I was surprised, did you see the ground ball that bounced
It
and
went
went
through the
through
glove.
the glove of the second baseman for the Padres? And I was like, did we not do an equipment check before this started? Like, what did a string come untied? But we were like, hold on, how are we playing with broken gloves in another country? So that was definitely interesting.
Well, he left his good glove in America, so they didn't have time to fly back and get it. So, and there's no stores in Korea, so you can't go to get another one. So, but yeah, they do
It was
play.
the Kevin McAllister of the baseball equipment, right?
Yes, so they do play another game today or in the morning. It's gonna be 5 a.m. start, so it's gonna be an early game. So, if you're waking up early to watch that, congratulations. It'll be Joe Musgrove versus Yamamoto, and this will be an interesting matchup. I actually did PrizePicks on this, and I went ahead and did both of them getting over 5 strikeouts in this game. So we'll see if that works out. But this is definitely an interesting matchup. We'll see how he does. Yamamoto does in a MLB game. I know it's not necessarily the same environment, but he might be more accustomed to environment like this than Joe Musgrove, maybe.
Yeah. Joe Musgrove is one of those guys that I always wonder, man, what would have happened if he would have stayed a Houston Astro? Eric,
Yeah.
because he's pitched some dang good ball. He pitched the first ever.
You didn't like Garrett Cole?
No, I like Garrett
I
Cole,
know.
but I'm just saying, we're talking about Joe Musgrove here. Joe Musgrove pitched the only no-hitter in Padres history. That was cool. You remember Sully was doing that year? Today, the Padres are going to throw a no-hitter, and he did it every day until they did it, and they actually did it.
Right.
So Sully called it. So I guess that's one way to predict a no-hitter is just call it every game. And then when it happens, you're like, hey, this guy's a genius.
Right.
But yeah, man, I may have to get up and watch that game because, I am like, love spring training, but come on, are we serious? This is not the full kit and caboodle. But, I am excited because Yamamoto had a real high ERA in spring training, right?
Yeah.
And he was,
but he had a lot of strikeouts. He showed some promise, and I know he's working on his stuff. And it's a adjustment sometimes coming from a different country to play in America. Some pitchers they come in and do it right away. Some like you, Darvish, I believe he came in and dominated right away. But just some pitchers just take a little bit of time. But spring training, they know that they have a job. They're just working on things. So. In a second, we are going to talk a little bit about the Ohtani controversy. So for the record, there's no evidence or so that Ohtani did anything wrong here. But there's just a lot of question marks. So for those of y'all that don't know what's going on, the interpreter for Shohei Ohtani was just fired by the Dodgers for stealing from Shohei Ohtani and paying off bookies from Shohei Ohtani's own bank account. But it's the whole timeline that's a little bit confusing. We'll have to talk about that in a second, Brett, because I'm even lost with some of the stuff that's been talking about. So yeah, you guys stick around. We'll talk about it in a second.
All right, so this episode is brought to you by Amazon Fire TV, your sports destination. To learn more, go to amazon.com/LockedOnFireTV. Look, it's your destination not just for sports, but for highlights, in-depth analysis. They offer viewing experiences with smart TVs as well as the Fire Stick that you can plug into your existing TV that provides access to millions of movies and TV episodes, as well as free and live TV. I almost said a free live TV. That would be false advertising. But with opening weekend and opening week coming up and college basketball, look, tomorrow's the big day, the opening round. It's really one of the more exciting days in college sports. It's when the upsets happen. It's when the 15 seeds upset the 2 seeds. And Grambling State just made it to their first NCAA tournament in their school's history. So congrats to them. So look, March Madness is here, the NBA, MLB, and so much more, not to mention great news, entertainment, gaming, traveling, cooking shows as well. Check out Fire TV channels on Fire TV and Alexa devices. If you haven't checked it out on Fire TV, you should. Trust me on this. To learn more, visit Amazon.com/LockedOnFire TV. And this episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Sorry for the pause there, the pause in the awkward silence, but FanDuel, there is no awkward silence. There is no pausing. Why? Because you get to move forward with FanDuel. Say goodbye to busted brackets because FanDuel lets you bet on every game of the tournament. Like if your team you pick is out that week, well, the next week you can keep betting. Why? Because the show goes on. Whether you're betting on a big upset or one seed, it's time to go dancing on America's #1 sportsbook right now. New customers get $200 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. That's $200 to use on point spreads, money lines, and so much more. You can pick who's going to win it all, like the University of Houston Cougars. That's right. Just visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn and bet on college hoops until the Cougars cut down the nets.
Guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go and subscribe to us. Go and make your second listen. Locked On Sports Today. It's now on. Streaming 24/7. Now it's on Amazon Fire TV, like Brett just talked about. And if you didn't watch it earlier, I'm sure you can. They'll have it on YouTube. But they had the AL West preview today on Locked On Sports Today. So you had me and all the AL West people talking about it. So you can go check it out on Locked On Sports Today on their YouTube page. But it's a great channel. It's got all the news you need to know. And I'm sure a lot of teams are going to be talking about a lot of Shohei Ohtani. And I thought you were going to, in that little FanDuel, I thought you were going to throw a little bit of Shohei Ohtani thing. I thought I heard Showtime coming or something.
Oh, well, you know what? I try to do these reads organically and it just didn't pop into my head. But yeah, that I definitely missed a great opportunity there.
Yes. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to read something for those people that don't know what's going on. I'm going to read something that Dallas Braden, he's a former pitcher. And I believe he's on one of the, is it Barstool's Sports or?
I don't know. Dallas, I don't know that he's on Barstool. I just know Dallas
Okay.
Braden used to pitch for the A's and he's got like a lot of facial hair and he's got this gnarly beard. And he is very, very like he is to Oakland what I don't know who would you say has got like this H-Town personality, H-Town magnet. I mean I'm talking about like sports personality, kind of like an Adam Clanton, but former pro athlete.
Okay.
You know, he's just like hardcore Oakland A. Anyways, go ahead.
All right. So this is this is just what he said based on everything that's come out. Then we'll go into the details. So Ohtani rep goes on record with ESPN that's stating that Ohtani transferred $4.5 million himself to bookmakers on behalf of IP Mizuhara. Then the spokesperson for Ohtani later delivers IP Mizuhara, the lifetime friend of Ohtani, to ESPN for a statement. Mizuhara says that Ohtani never bet, and he felt bad for him and paid off his debt, so he'll never do again. Spokesperson for Ohtani later says that IP is lying after he gave his 90-minute statement to ESPN. Then later, Ohtani's statements claim massive theft. And then later on, IP says that Ohtani had zero knowledge of his debt or gambling habit in general.
Okay, so and they're all like ban Ohtani, give him the Altuve treatment. There are a lot of Astros fans. Look, I'm right there with you. You know, Altuve is our guy, and look, I know you guys want all the ire in the world to go towards him. The bottom line is we don't know all that happened. I do know that this bookie that was paid by whoever and whoever they dealt with was an illegal bookkeeper. I'm sorry. It's not bookkeeper. That sounds like a freaking attorney. bookie, an illegal bookie in
Yeah.
California. So this was an illegal gambling operation. ESPN had interviewed bank information showing Ohtani's name on two $500,000 payments sent in September and October. While sports betting is legal in 40 states, it remains illegal in California. Government-regulated sports books require bettors to pay up front for their wages, while illegal bookkeepers accept bets on credit. That's basically probably what happened.
Right.
So sources close to the gambling operation told ESPN that Boyer dealt directly with Mizuhara, who placed bets on international soccer matches and other sports, but not baseball, starting in 2021. A source said Boyer was aware of the name on the wire transfers, but chose not to ask any questions as long as payments came in. However, the source said Boyer allowed people to believe Ohtani was a client in order to boost business. That right there is where the muddy water gets muddier. Obviously, he wasn't happy talking about Ohtani about it and said that he would help me out to make sure I never did this again. Like you said, Mizuhara, he decided to pay it off for me. I just wanted to reemphasize that. So he is saying that Ohtani did this for me. Ohtani's people are saying this is total BS. This is theft. He stole money from these accounts. Now, I don't think it's far-fetched, Eric, and let's dig into this. I don't think it's far-fetched to think that his best friend and someone close to him had access to his accounts.
Right.
Because he probably helped manage his money and things like that. So we don't know what Mizuhara's role was. If Mizuhara's role was unfettered access to Ohtani's accounts, this is very possible. The other scenario that I think everybody assumes is the case, because we like to assume everybody's guilty and not innocent, but if it's us, we want to be innocent before guilty, is that Ohtani was the one placing these bets, not on baseball, i.e. Pete Rose, but on international soccer games, which is illegal in California. What worries me is the feds are involved. Now, I know people in high places can hire the right attorneys. We've seen it happen. We've seen pro athletes.
Right.
If the glove don't fit, you must acquit kind of thing. You've got people that will go into court and finagle the law and find loopholes. I don't know how deep this is going to go, but this is Major League Baseball's biggest star to date.
Right.
And if someone like him falls, like, what the heck? This is huge. I don't know if you know this, but it's believed by some people that when Michael Jordan retired for 2 years from baseball, it was to let him get out of his gambling debts, because apparently he was doing a lot of gambling and the NBA was afraid of a big gambling controversy. And that's then why he came back into basketball. He won that last championship with the Bulls. But that's a lot of speculation. I don't know how true that is, but anytime gambling is tied to baseball, i.e. Pete Rose, or tied to sports, it's never good. NBA refs doing it. So that's what's going on. And everybody's calling BS. I'm calling BS on something. I just don't know what to call BS, because we've got two men's words against each other. And the bottom line is you and I don't know the truth.
Well, there's actually a lot of like the FBI have been looking into this, and I actually did this thumbnail for a reason. A loan. This is a loan. This Shohei Ohtani apparently told him this is a loan, and they actually have bank statements that say, or they have wire transfers that say this is a loan from Shohei Ohtani, and this was going towards the bookie. And so, so basically, I think Matsuara was asked, well, why didn't he just give you the money instead of wiring it directly to the bookie? He said, well, he didn't trust me with the money. He didn't want me to gamble it away. But then later on, Ohtani's lawyer said, oh, Ohtani knew nothing about this. So that's just where it gets a little bit kind of questionable.
That's where, so even if you have unfettered access to someone's financial gains, there's no way they're going to do that without your knowledge. Now, there's a Dodger statement, and someone said this in the chat, but I wanted to confirm it, from Bob Nightingale. A lot of people are reporting it. The Dodgers say they are aware of media reports and are gathering information. The team can confirm that interpreter IP Mizuhara has been terminated. The team has no further comment at this time. Now, it does stand to go unnoticed that they did fire this guy on the spot. They're probably going to do that because they're trying to protect their $780 million investment, right?
Right.
But it is just one of those things where, wow, this is not something I anticipated, because I've been like, Ohtani's like the face of the game. He's clean. He doesn't have controversy. He just got married, all these good stuff. His dog was named Dodger, and that was a whole fiasco when he was, on the market, on the free agency block. And I just, man, you just hope this doesn't. And look, everybody wants Ohtani to like be punished and all that stuff. It doesn't make me any difference what happens. I just want the truth to come out. And if someone did something wrong, they need to pay the consequences. And if it's Ohtani, then so be it. And if it's not, so be this other guy.
Yeah. So we'll continue this conversation in a second. But Mitsuhara says that that Matt Boyer told him that you had to put something in the description for a wire. So he told me just add the word loan. And so that's another thing that's coming about. It's like, well, I had to put something, so I just put it as a loan. So there's so much that we don't know everything. We don't know what happened behind closed doors. We weren't there in the room where it happened, to quote the famous song from Alexander Hamilton. But I just think that there's something weird about this whole situation, and it's not a good look for Shohei Ohtani. It's not a good look for baseball. But speaking of which, we can talk about PrizePicks in a second.
Yeah, definitely. All right, PrizePicks. Let me tell you about PrizePicks. I love this game. I'm actually playing it. I actually got some picks right now, and I'm super excited about this because it's fun. You use the code LOCKEDONMLB for your first deposit match of up to $100. Look, football's gone. It's basketball season. It's baseball season. It's playoff time. It's March Madness. It's PrizePicks, America's #1 fantasy sports app, where you can turn hoops knowledge into serious cash. You can now win up to 100 times your money. I mean, who doesn't want to pick 4 correct picks and take $10 and turn it into 1,000? The NBA, NHL, college basketball entries are here, and even you can play alongside the favorite players like Meek Mill, my guy, Sugar Shane O'Malley, and all these men you can find, and all these people in the community plays under the promos tab of the app to view the entries. Conference tournaments are done, and they've started playing the playing game. Like I mentioned, Grambling State, who would have thought they're into their first tournament? That's right. And even if the player you choose in the first half doesn't re-enter the game, that player projection won't count against you, and the rest of your entry stays alive. So that doesn't mess you up. That doesn't foul you up. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, an enormous selection of players and stat types that you can find really nowhere else. PrizePicks now offers Apple Pay for quick and easy deposits into your account this basketball season. Players and stat types from selecting highlight winnings from PrizePicks. How fun and simple this experience is, it's unexplainable. So download the app today and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for the first deposit match of up to $100. That's right. Well, up to $100, your first deposit. Use a promo code LOCKEDONMLB. It is highly encouraged that you go do this today. So check it out, PrizePicks. You won't go wrong. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
All right. So I don't know if y'all watched the HBO show called Ballers, but it definitely has a situation like this where there's a childhood friend of this one football player that plays for Dallas Cowboys, I believe. And he's like somebody who's supposed to be his agent, the guy that handles his money. And then you have The Rock comes in and says, no, this guy's stealing from you and everything. So we know this happens with professional athletes. You have your boys, you have your friends, you have people that grew up with you. So apparently this translator has been paid between $300,000 and $500,000 per year to be Shohei Ohtani's translator. And apparently he's a self-admitted bad gambler. But after
hold on. Not admitted gambler, admitted bad gambler?
Yes. He just said, I'm terrible at gambling. I'm never going to do it again. I never won any money. I mean, I dug myself a hole and it kept on getting bigger. And it meant I had to bet bigger to get out of it. And I just kept on losing. It's like a snowball effect. That's called being addicted, buddy. It's hard to break an addiction. So
it's called I got a problem. Sorry.
Yes.
Look, gambling addiction is no problem. I mean, is no like problem to scoff at. But hey, I don't know if you know that Cecil Fielder, when he retired with more than $47 million in earnings, but he was in massive gambling debt. This guy got into all kinds of gambling debt. He got into several $1,000,000 in game. I mean, look, I'll do prize picks for the fun and I'll do those things, but I don't go to like Vegas and do like the whole blackjack and all that stuff just because I hate losing. And I'm sorry, it's a losing game. If you've convinced yourself that gambling's a winning game, I don't know, man. I'm just saying, like, dude, he's an admitted bad gambler. That's a bad admission. That's not something you should admit to.
Yeah, he said he's estimated his losses at more than $1 million by the end of 2022, and it's just gotten worse from there. So this is something that has been under investigation since 2023. The feds have been investigating this, the wire the wire transfers and everything, and I think everybody knew that this was coming down. And Mizuara said after the game today to the Dodgers, he said, "Hey, something's gonna come out, and obviously this is all my fault. Everything I've done, I'm ready to face all the consequences." And so that's what he said to the Dodgers after the game. So we'll see what happens at the end of the day with I know there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there. Well,
yeah, look,
who's able to take $4.5 million out? Even like nickeling and diming, like Brett, I'm not gonna be able to, let's just put it in terms of our money. I'm not gonna be able to take, we're friends, but I'm not gonna be able to take $300 out of your checking account every month.
Try like 10,000. No, I'm joking. You don't know. You obviously don't know how big my bank account is. I mean, I'm a teacher, bro, and a podcaster. I'm rolling in the dough, man. I have arrived. Whatever. Dude, Money Manziel.
Your nose is growing.
Yeah. No, actually, it's not. That's the only thing on me that has. Anyways, so hey, so here's the deal, Eric. Let's get to this 26-man roster thing, okay?
Hey, one thing real quick. This is one thing, I believe you mentioned it, but this is something that that Mizuara did mention. I'm trying to paste it in here real quick. But this is what he did say. "I never bet on baseball. That's 100%. I know that rule. We have meetings about this in spring training." So to kind of close it out,
and we
know,
don't bet in states where it's illegal to bet.
Right.
Especially when our best friend is Shohei Ohtani.
Yes. So a lot of people are saying that he's becoming the scapegoat. I don't know.
Well,
if
here's the thing. Okay, look. We're all saying that Ohtani should just like leave his friend, just hang him out to dry, right?
Right.
Picture your best friend. It's easier to tell someone else to turn in their best friend and turn tail. If it was you and your best friend and you had emotional ties, you've been best friends for years, it would not be that easy. It is very possible and very plausible that this guy did this without Ohtani's full knowledge. But if Ohtani knew that he was gambling in California, he had to be smart enough to know that it's illegal, and he should have told his friend, "Stop this crap, or I'm gonna send you back home. You're not."
And he's technically participating in it. Why are you giving that a thumbs up, Brett?
Dude, this iOS system updated. I have no idea. I put a thumbs up and nothing goes up. I do some random sign and balloons went up the other day when I was recording something. I have no idea where this stuff comes from. Thank you.
All right. So I know that we kind of talked a lot about Ohtani, but it's kind of big news.
A lot. I was trying to get to Loper Fido, but you still wanted to talk about Mr. IP. So here's a go.
Let's jump to Loper Fido.
No, Joey Loper Fido.
Okay.
He's gonna go at AAA. Okay. I'm calling it right now. He needs regular at bats. He's not gonna get regular bats in the major leagues. He's not gonna mainly play first or third. He has played first, but he's mainly gone to second base. He can play all three outfield spots. You don't need a fifth outfielder right now. And so that means more than likely Singleton makes this roster to begin with. If Loperfido comes up and Singleton's not cut it, then Singleton will probably get DFA'd at some point. And that will be what you have to do. And it's baseball is a business. It's what have you done for me lately? Yeah. Let Loperfido cook in AAA. Let Joey cook. He knows how to cook. Let him do that. And just go from there. That's right. The paella cooker. That's right.
Yeah, something we forgot to mention yesterday, Michael Brantley arrived to camp, and he's helping with the Astros, and specifically he's trying to help Jeremy Pena. Jeremy Pena has lost his swing. He's lost a lot of stuff with his contact and everything. So hopefully he can figure things out, because the Astros need his bat, and so hopefully he can figure out things. I don't think he's lost everything, but I think at this point, he's lost his confidence. That's the main thing. Baseball's a mental thing. And right now he just needs that confidence back. So, and Joe Espada said that he hopes the U of H can go all the way.
Well, good deal. Yeah, I know there's a lot of people wishing U of H all the luck in the world, and they've got the team as long as their guys are healthy. Last game they lost, they were missing their big three stars. But let me tell you, Calvin Sampson, probably the best coach in Texas in all sports. He is creating one of the most winning programs. Once again, the U of H Cougars were the winningest program in the 80s for NCAA basketball when they had Phi Slama Jama. And so now you got Kelvin Sampson, and he's got like 3 seasons in a row with 30 wins or more. So go Cougs tomorrow. Hey, stop and watch some games, enjoy it, and have fun. And look, baseball's right around the corner, people. Right around the freaking corner. I'll be at the first exhibition game. Eric and I will be at opening day. We want y'all to check us out. Okay. So if you see us, hit us up social media. Let's meet up somewhere. Let's talk. Let's chat. Let's go cheer the Astros to beat those stinking Yankees.
And I need a $4.5 million loan. If anybody can help me with that, I can never repay that. And I don't know if a translator can ever repay that, but let's just go ahead and hope this thing kind of works itself out. And that's all we got for this edition of the Locked On Astros podcast. We will see you tomorrow, and make sure you check out Locked On Sports Today, and go Astros.
Man, I don't think we made it, Eric.
Nope, not tonight.
Thanks, Eric. You had to talk about IP. Why? IP. Hey, we might as well stay on. Hey, are we still live?
Yeah, we're still live.
What's up, y'all? Hey, let's do an app, dude. I'm feeling good right now, man. I'm feeling good. Hey, say in the chat, do y'all want to hang out with us a little bit longer? This is fun. Now, look, Supreme Panda saying good night. Oh, Colt says yes. Let's hang out some more, man. Eric, hey guys, Eric
I
is
barely had my voice.
You barely can talk. Get you some hot tea, man. I was like, okay, so look. Let's get more into this, okay? Because I think this.
And Ingrid, PrizePicks is okay in Texas, by the way.
So, no, yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, yes. I'm playing it legally, okay. But yes, there are some sponsors that we have that we're not eligible to play in our state, but we still have to read the ad because it is a national ad for our MLB channel. So that's just. We're doing what they are asking us to do. It pays the bills. So let's talk about this roster thing, Eric. The 26-man roster. Joe Espada did say, as long as you're here, that means you got a shot. We've seen the moves lately. I just think that on opening day, you're gonna see what is his name? Taylor.
Taylor Scott. It's on
Taylor Scott.
B18.
Taylor Scott makes it, huh?
B18 on the.
Oh yeah, there you go. So Taylor Scott, okay. Belak, obviously. Singleton, I think, is going to make it because he plays first base. I think that's why he's there. Honestly, no offense to John Singleton. I just think that if he wasn't be able to use a first base, if it was another position, they probably wouldn't have room for him. They've got Dubon, who's your backup second baseman, your backup shortstop, your backup center fielder. But Joey has to stay in the minors until June, late June, to be a Super 2.
To not be a Super 2, yeah.
I'm sorry, to not be a Super 2. Right. So it would actually benefit Loperfido and the Astros to hold him back until late June.
It wouldn't benefit Joey. He wants to come up that way. He can become a free agent sooner.
But no, so I disagree. It's going to benefit Joey because then he'll be, and when he comes up, it's probably going to be him getting every day at bats now. But that probably has to come.
I thought we were talking about Super 2 status only.
Oh,
That's the whole point
okay.
with George Springer. I remember the Astros
True.
kept him down because they wanted that extra year of control, and they got that extra year of control, and that was something that really just ticked him off his entire career with the Houston Astros. And so that's what a lot of teams do nowadays, unless they desperately need a player at the beginning of the season, or you just have this megastar you can't have down there. But same time, I don't know if I think Joey Lopez is going to be a good player. I don't know if he's at the level of Super 2 status where it's going to be that big of a concern. Now, he could go out there, become the next, I don't know, Paul Goldschmidt, and we wouldn't know. I mean, then yes, it'll become a big deal. But I don't think the projections show him becoming a big star like that. So I don't know if it matters. But the Astros, with the way they like to manage the clock, I think that they will make him wait. But at the same time, if they need him, if Singleton, if they don't really want to carry Singleton, then they'll put him on the roster.
Yeah, I think so. I think this year, I think you're going to see him. I think Loperfido and Eric Getty stand the chance to get the most service time this year. But I've got some friends that think that maybe there are a lot more people in front of Loperfido than just someone like Singleton. That there are guys that have really kind of paid their dues. Well, and that's the thing. Yeah. My friend Mark talks a lot about that, and he says, look, seniority in paying your dues means a lot. DeCenzo's actually paid more dues. He's played more games. I mean, people can skyrocket through the system. I mean, we saw what Alex Bregman and Jose Altuve did, but those are exceptions. Those aren't the rule. And so it's just going to be fun to watch these guys come up. And I really hope, for all intents and purposes, that this pitching staff, Eric, starts off good. We need to take advantage of the Yankees not throwing Garrett Cole and throwing nasty Nestor Cortez, who wasn't so nasty last year. And we need to basically take control of that game and score early like we've been doing in these spring training games. I really think we're going to like what we see from this offense, Eric, because top to bottom, I'm confident with just about everybody in the lineup. And even with Pena having his power struggles, I'm confident with the guys that are around him because hitting is infectious, losing is infectious. And so
Corey Lee, he's going to be the starting catcher for the White Sox. Oh, wait. That's not the case. He's actually back in AAA. So this is like deja vu all over again because of Martin Maldonado.
He must not like him at all, just because everywhere like, Corey goes.
I just got away from you, dude. Why are you coming here? Of all places, why'd you come here?
Right, exactly. It's just, and the thing my friend Mark says is it's all about, the construction of the roster. You have Wagner and DeCenzo who are capable at third base. So I just wonder what they're going to do at third base if Alex Bregman doesn't come back. I mean, Eric, this is crazy. We may go to our we're going to go to our 8th straight ALCS. Okay. Alex Bregman's going to go to 8 straight ALCSs. He'll be the only player to play his first 8 seasons in an American League Championship Series. No one's ever done that before, right? And we may be ending the era of Alex Bregman. Isn't that that's crazy to think about, because he's really become one of the mainstays. He's a lightning rod. People on the other teams hate him because he's polarizing. And so I absolutely love it. And they say teach Loperfido third base. Third base is, look, I'm not saying Loperfido can't, but you're going to have to give him a year, like in the minors, to really perfect that, because the third base, it's called the hot corner for a reason.
Yeah. And I know whenever I play softball, they always put me at third base. I'm like, why? I don't have the arm for this. But
No,
that
don't.
because I always played co-ed softball, and so they have to put boy girl, and all this
Oh
stuff.
my
And
gosh.
I'd rather not be in the outfield running all the long home runs down and everything. So, but yeah, third base is definitely an interesting situation. But like I said yesterday, I think there's something to what has happened recently with Alex Bregman and what Scott Boris's clients with the whole
Oh, they've
them
taken
not
a lot
getting
less.
exactly what they wanted and
Yeah.
having to wait. And I think Alex Bregman, he's not a patient dude. He may wait for a little bit to get his money, but at the same time, he loves Houston. He loves his team. I don't think he has the same animosity as some of the other players that maybe have left, but I think that he really loves this city, and I think that he, for a certain dollar amount, I think he'll come back to Houston. He wants to test a market. He's a vain guy. He wants to see what other teams would pay for him, and
So
then he'll kind of try to get the Astros to match him.
So his big three this winter signed and was Cody Bellinger, 3 years, 80 million with opt-outs. Blake Snell, 2 years, 62 million with opt-out. Matt Chapman, 3 year, 54 million with opt-outs. That's not what they were wanting originally. Bellinger wanted 200 plus million. Chapman wanted 150 million. Blake
Right.
Snell wanted 270 million. And we hear that Jordan Montgomery is unsigned. And you said the Yankees are checking in on him, but they are
But they're
far
far
apart in numbers. And if they're far apart in numbers, and the Yankees we know offered Snell 6 years, 150 million or whatever it was, then good Lord, what is Jordan Montgomery asking? Surely he's not asking for more than Blake Snell. He's not better than Blake Snell.
I think what Jordan Montgomery is doing is what Blake Snell is kind of doing. Hey, Yankees, you're without Garrett Cole. I know you're desperate. You're going to overpay for this muffler. So go ahead and do it.
For this muffler. It's like this added episode is brought to you by eBay Motors.
No,
Yeah,
I
so
still
yeah,
go back to that muffler ad from was it George Foreman years ago? This is back in the 80s or
the
90s.
Meineke.
The Meineke, yeah, to overpay for your muffler.
That's right, man, and a grill inside that I don't know, like the Foreman grill is just a flawed thing. So
Yeah,
someone said,
it was okay. It just was messy and hard to clean. But
okay, Indrid here says he says Monty's asking for he's heard at least 7 years, 152 million.
well, unlike the other guys, he doesn't have the qualifying offer attached to him. He doesn't have
Okay, in 7 years, how many wins does he have, Eric, in his career? How many
38.
wins? 38 wins. And how many years? 7 years?
Yeah.
How does a guy have 38 wins in 7 years and he's demanding almost $200 million? And what? What are we doing here? Like, I understand inflation is out of control because I'm paying way too much for cereal and milk and eggs and all that BS. It still pisses me off. Every time I go to the store, I get sick of this freaking food prices, okay? And these players are expecting to get paid a king's ransom when they go out and they do a jester's work. Sorry, I know you won a World Series, Jordan Montgomery, but let's get real, bro. Let's get real. I don't get it, man. Like, I don't understand the game. I'm obviously not an agent. I'm not a lawyer. So I understand my naivety. I mean, hey, someone even called me a moron in the comments. That was a cool feeling. But it's just one of those things where, are these players doing this or these agents? Because if Scott Boras is doing this, he's ruining the value of his clients. Because if you keep saying someone's a $300 million guy and he's only getting 80 million, and that happens every time, you know what teams are going to say?
Right.
I'm looking at an $85 million guy. I'm not looking at a $300 million guy.
Oh, Brian McTaggart was on Sports Talk 790 today, and he actually said that the Astros never had a chance for Blake Snell. If he wanted a opt-out after the first year, that is something that Jim Crane would never do. He would never do opt-out, and he would he's okay with the short-term deal, but he would never give the player the control. And a lot of people are like, well, what about Justin Verlander's his opt-in or whatever for this year if he reaches 140. That was actually from the Mets. But there are like you can opt in if you reach a certain number of incentives. But opt out is a different situation. And this is something that the Astros have never done. We've seen the Dodgers do it. We've seen other teams do it, but it's just not something that's good business. You don't give up. The Astros would have had to pay $40 million in taxes or
Oh,
something.
it was crazy. 45. Yeah, no, yeah, it was an insurmountable amount. Hey, listen to this tweet from my guy Manny on Twitter. Or X. He goes, "Is this where Ohtani retires then goes to play in the NBA?" Ohtani's going to join the LA Lakers.
Yeah, but it would have cost them a pick to the Padres. They would have lost their third round pick. So they would have lost a second round pick for Hader, third round pick for Snell. Then also they would have had to move their first round pick back 10 rounds. Not 10 rounds, but 10 picks back because of going over the luxury tax threshold, losing international money. There is so much that people don't understand about what it would have cost to get Blake Snell. And yes, he would have been a great player for the Astros, but he doesn't pitch a lot of innings. He goes maybe 6 innings because he doesn't throw a lot of strikes. He's wild at times. He has great stuff. He could strike you out because he likes to nibble. But with that in the long run, it would have hurt the Astros more because those picks are very valuable. So for Jim Crane to do what he did to get Josh Hader, that shows how important they thought that Josh Hader was.
Yeah, exactly. And look, I mean, closers really do have a shelf life. And
Closers
I mean,
close.
Yeah. Well, Presley's had a nice run, and Presley's still very viable, but at some point, because Hader is younger, you're going to have to position yourself, and especially if you have a guy like Presley that's willing to take a different role with the team, that is big important. That means that the goal of winning is more important than the individual achievements. And if you can get that with professional athletes that have big egos, I think you've already won. And so I wouldn't choose any other ball club to root for than the Houston Astros. I'm so glad that I'm an Astros fan.
Colleen, it's spring training. I'm not worried about Josh Hader giving up 2 home runs.
No, dude. Yeah, you literally, if you freak out about the results, now I think it's okay to praise a guy that maybe struggled last year. Looks like he's kind of finding his swing and stuff like that.
Like Rafael Montero.
But you don't get overly excited. You don't get overly excited about stuff. But hey, guys, look, all season long, we're going to be here. We're going to be doing live shows. We'll be announcing those. I'm still waiting to hear back from the Astros. We should be getting more giveaways like we did last year. We'll be having Mike Stanton will join the show next week. And we'll be bringing on different guests. And I'm aiming for Loperfido and Arrighetti for our first minor league interviews for Locked On Astros this year, early in the season. So we'll let y'all know when those happen. Look, if you see us at the Constellation Field, you see us at Minute Maid Park, say hi. We'd love to meet you. So much, look, 92 guys and girls still watching. I really hope we have 92 likes. Please hit the like button. And look, if y'all haven't ever given us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, please do that. Let everybody know what you think of our show. Tell them Brett and Eric are the coolest dudes ever, and they've got the coolest podcast, or however you want to, word it. And where's the after party?
The after party is with NyQuil because I'm all right. Not doing good.
Well, the after party, I'm about to go into my living room and I'm going to watch the last part of the second play-in game. And then tomorrow, I'm a little sick, so I'm going to be. I got to take care of my March
I'm
Madness.
Actually sick. I cannot miss tomorrow because we have this big store. I'm not going to say the name coming to give the district a lot of money. So we got to put on this big show tomorrow. So
I might be at Little Woodrow's tomorrow during the day because they have a cure for my March Madness. So I'm just saying.
All righty. So that's all we got for this extra edition of the Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. He is Brett Chancey, and you could go to subscribe to us, make your first listen, become an everydayer, and go ahead and rock and roll with us every day. And we will see you tomorrow. And go Astros.
Got them both in. Ah!
I'm gonna block him so before you can say anything else.